Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and let's finally get my Sapphire back. But first we have to pass through this meadow. Oh god, it's so frightening. It's a tiny meadow, we won't make it through. We have like level 40 Pidgeys or something like that. We're not going to make it. Oh man, risking my life for that max potion. Oh, so not worth it. Oh god, it's a wonder that I survived that encounter. And oh man, Team Rocket Grunts, I don't know what I'm going to do. They're Rattatas at almost level 50. I'm only beating them by 6 levels. I'm not seriously over-leveled anymore. What is this? I have no battle plan whatsoever. No type advantages to use against their rather generic Pokemon. What am I going to do? Well, after seriously a minute of that probably got old very quickly. Yeah, Acid Armor, raised defense. Too bad I'm going to special attack you. But otherwise, that would have been a good plan, but no, not really. But there we go, that's the end of that battle. And now we can continue on. We could cut this tree, or you could just go around and possibly run into another scary Pidgey or whatever. That really doesn't matter. Also, female grunt member. I feel as though this is the first time that we've seen a female Team Rocket Grunt. Maybe there's been one or two, but it's definitely been a lot more rare. And Stockpile is an interesting move. With Stockpile, you can stockpile up to 3 times. Your defense and special defense will raise as you do it, or that might just be future generations, I'm not entirely sure. But then what you can do is use other moves that come with it, or usually come with it, which is Spit Up and Swallow. If you use Swallow, you will heal HP based on how many times you stockpiled. Or if you use Spit Up, you'll do damage based on how many times you stockpiled. Really, it's not all that great of a strategy, it's merely interesting, but it's not worth wasting multiple turns in order to get that set up. It's not worth how much you heal or how much you damage. You could use more powerful moves, or you could use something like Recover or something. That, and it eats up a lot of move slots. Also, to the right there, surfing on that water, you could actually go to a place called Memorial Pillar. And yet again, I completely forgot that something in this game existed, and it's that thing, so I never ended up going there. But there you could find a guy in front of a giant statue-like thing, and he will say, oh hey, my Tectonics died, which, very neat name for his Onix, by the way. And oh wow, that's an interesting move. It faints you, but it brings both attack and special attack down 3 stages. So now Slowbro really isn't going to be doing a whole lot. See, that Weezing actually survived a hit. Well, anyways, like I was saying, the guy's Tectonics died, and he says that lemonade used to be Tectonics' favorite drink, and if you give him a lemonade, he will give you an item called Metal Coat, which if you have either Scyther or Onix holding that item, and then trade them, they will evolve into Scizor and Steelix respectively. So, there you go. Pretty interesting, I think. Let's go ahead and heal up my Pokemon of their status ailments. We don't want to poison Slowbro here. And that's about it. We can now finally go into the Rocket Warehouse. But first we need to enter in our 2 codes. The one that we got from the guys at Mount Ember, and the other one from the scientist who, for whatever reason, told us one of them. Honestly, I have no idea. And now we have one more instance of the tile puzzles. Oh boy. This is going to take a while. Honestly, for a while I was stumped just because I couldn't see the solution. But I cut out all that moments out, and I'm just going to show you the correct solution after we grab all these items that I'm probably most likely not going to use. However, there isn't one interesting item in here, and it's actually right there. The upgrade. If you give that to a Porygon, if you make them hold it, and then you trade that Porygon, it will evolve into a Porygon 2, which is... I think it's a pretty good Pokemon, actually. I see a lot of people, or not a lot, but a few people using Porygon Z, and some Porygon 2s with Eviolite. So it's kind of neat. I don't know, Porygon 2 is a neat-looking Pokemon, Porygon Z even more neat-looking. But probably something that I'd never use, just because you have to trade it while holding items multiple times. But maybe someday I will actually get one. It's just that it's really difficult to get, because I really don't know very many people at all that play Pokemon, and just like to constantly ask them like, hey, could you trade this for me so I can evolve it? I feel like I'd get on their nerves and whatnot if I was constantly asking to evolve all these various Pokemon that I wanted to use. I actually had to ask a friend to evolve 2 of my Pokemon just recently for the VGC coming up, but I got that done, and now I just need to create 2 more. I have them done, sort of. However, they're not the best that they can be. They only have 3 perfect IVs, and I want them to have the 5. So I'm going to do that now. I think I actually just succeeded in creating both of them, and now I just need to EV train, level up, get them their moves, whatnot. But we'll get to the VGC when that comes up, coming the 29th. It'll be a ton of fun, I think. Okay, so there's that Rocket Grunt. There is still one other guy in the distance there, and a couple more items that we can grab, like this Big Pearl, more selling stuff. Very nice, although I'm probably not going to sell it just because that kind of stuff just honestly goes into my bag and I never really remember about it. Also, I think there are supposed to be Pokemon in those cages. If you examine them, it might say something about that. Okay, going around in circles now. And honestly, the solution here is very easy to see. It's just, at least my mind was thinking like, okay, they're going to make me use these tiles to get to where I need to be. However, that really isn't the case, because once you reach a certain point, you can actually just walk to where you need to go. And going in a gigantic circle, awesome. Oh well, better than going back to the beginning, I think. Yeah, see, we're kind of stuck here, but after a while, once I finally look at it, I realize that there is in fact a path that we can take upwards. What planet are you from? Earth, sir. I was hoping that he would give me a hint about this puzzle, but couldn't really figure it out. Okay, now, see, this pathway over here, I'm slowly getting it, understanding, figuring it out. Oh man, look at this. Not touching any tiles, just walking. What is this walking business that you talk of? Oh, well, we get TM36, which is Sludge Bomb, a pretty powerful Poison-type move. Too bad I both don't have any Pokemon that can learn that, and really wouldn't want to learn that anyways, because I'm not a huge fan of Poison-type Pokemon. I mean, I really only use them if they're dual-type with, like, Grass, usually. And the dog is barking yet again. But, yeah, I really don't I never use a poison mono-type poison Pokemon that just has poison, is what I'm trying to say. But, oh well, maybe someday I will use a poison type, but well, I did use Crobat in Pokemon Crystal, although that wasn't just poison, that was poison flying type. I'm trying to think, I feel as though, did I use anything else? I really don't, I think that Crobat's the only poison type that I've ever really used. I used a Drapion in Pokemon Diamond, but, I mean, that's about it. Yeah, pretty much. Although my first time playing through Fire Red, I feel as though I might have told this story before, but I caught an Arbok at the Victory Road, and because I had practically nothing at a very high level because I only used my Charizard, I just used that as my third Pokemon along with the Machoke that I was trying to evolve and my Charizard. And I just kind of used him as death fodder as well, because he had Spit Up, Swallow, and Stockpile, so he was rather useless. So death fodder is really the only purpose that he served. Meanwhile, my Charizard did pretty much everything, and my Machoke just kind of cleaned up when necessary. But, oh well, that was me when I was really young and didn't understand the whole team thing of Pokemon. They give you 6 slots for a reason, you should use them. Well, there we go, we beat one of the admins, the female admin actually. And these are actually the admins that you meet in Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. So pretty interesting, although this is only 2 of them, the female one and then one of the male ones, because they really don't have names for now until 4th gen. But oh well. Oh no, an angry adult. Oh man, what could he do? Would he throw a Pokemon at me? Oh man, that's exactly what he's doing. It's like all the other people. Oh no. I'm shaking in my boots, although I'm not wearing boots. Oh well, he has a really high-leveled Pokemon. I mean, they are practically up to par with my Pokemon. And that is not good. Luckily, Ghost is considered a physical type for whatever reason. I honestly don't understand why. So the special defense drop does not really matter unless he uses a special type attack. However, Sludge Bomb is poison, and poison's also physical. But Dugtrio kind of only had 3 HP, so really nothing to worry about. But let's go ahead and send out Pikachu because she has type advantage and Thunderbolt, and she is also my highest level. And I'm assuming that Golbat over there is this guy's weakest Pokemon. He also has a Weezing, so Slowbro would do very nicely here, although he is kind of weak as well. I probably should have used that shortcut that the lady, the female admin, opened up for me to use and heal up before I did this. Honestly, I was not expecting it to be this difficult. I mean, for whatever reason, this Weezing is able to conjure up lightning, and did so in order to beat my Slowbro. And now I have no type advantage against it because it has Levitate, so therefore its ground weakness is nullified. So we're just going to light it on fire and hope it doesn't explode or something like that. Oh well, another flamethrower should take it down. It took out slightly more than half, so that's a good sign. So let's go ahead flamethrower again, and that should be that. That should be that. Now we just have his last Pokemon, because he only has 3 for whatever reason, doesn't have a full team, and Houndoom. Houndoom is a really cool Pokemon. I really like Houndoom. I know we've run into some Houndours and stuff before, but I think it's really neat how Team Rocket uses Houndours and Houndooms. Just kind of adds more variety to their team list, I guess. And Houndoom just, like, looks absolutely evil and awesome and stuff like that. Houndoom is among my top 5 Gen 2 Pokemon, probably. So, yeah, there we go. But Houndoom really can't touch us because we are water and he is fire. And his typing is really cool as well. Sorry, I will stop guffawing over Houndoom now. But there we go, we should be pretty much done here. And there we go, one last waterfall and he goes down. So there we go, there goes his Houndoom, which was the exact same level as my Dugong, no less, so it was very even. And yes, just because I have the badge, that means that Team Rocket is in fact disbanded, or whatever you said. It's not like, oh, well, does Team Rocket disband every single time somebody wins Giovanni's gym? I guess so, maybe not, I don't know. Either way, we have the scientist now who stole my Sapphire, so it's time to get revenge on him and his Voltorbs. Also, his name is Gideon. Gideon Graves by chance? Well, not quite. However, this doesn't really look to be that great of a tight matchup. However, luckily Voltorb has near to no electric type moves this generation. Really, the only thing you have to worry about is self-destruct and explosion. And Dugtrio kind of bit the dust earlier, so we're going to need to go with Dugong. Spark is really the only electric type move that Electrode and Voltorb has. But otherwise, really nothing to worry about. And oh man, okay, we're just going to go for it or not. We're going to heal up actually for once. Even though I'm not a huge fan of healing in battle, it's still a thing that I kind of need to do now because we really are getting low and stuff. And Sonic Boom, you're still using that? It would take 9 Sonic Booms to beat me, sir. Do you realize how long that would take and how little time your Electrode has? That little time, it just fainted. Maybe you should use, try using a mind control device, but then I will go through a dream and realize that a mind control device is being used on me. I don't even... That reference was so not thought out in the slightest. And here we have a Magnemite, which is part Steel type this generation, which means that we have type advantage over it with Fire. And for whatever reason, it doesn't have Levitate, although it really looks like it should. So it is 4 times weak to ground as well, which would pretty much guarantees it not being knocked out. I mean, what type or what ability could it possibly have that would be more important than Levitate on it? I can't seem to recall. I feel as though Magneton, at least one of his abilities is soundproof, maybe. Feel like that's a possibility. Also, this guy's a Mr. Mime, which is kind of interesting. Not very many people use a Mr. Mime. Luckily, where did I get Mr. Mime from? That says Porygon, sir, and that looks like a Porygon. Well, Porygon also a very interesting Pokemon. I think this is the only guy that uses a Porygon. By the way, did I mention that it's a Porygon, not a Mr. Mime, in fact? Okay, well then. Still, Porygon, very interesting Pokemon. Conversion 2, change its types based on the situation. But it's overall not very powerful. It's one of those gimmicky Pokemon, but it's a very interesting Pokemon. I mean, I like its design and stuff. And we finally get the Sapphire back, and we do indeed recall that he does not in fact have a Mr. Mime. Okay, so now we can take that shortcut. All the Team Rocket members have left the area, and Team Rocket is pretty much done. However, that Rocket admin did say that he was going to bring Team Rocket back. I think it just might take him a few years, though. I don't know. Maybe eventually he'll succeed. Also, dang it! Just had to do that one more time, didn't I? Man, this is the very last thing that I had to do, aside from those things that I missed that I'm probably not going to show, because I explained them, and overall, they really don't matter that much. I mean, I feel as long as I mention them, you could go do them if you want, or you could possibly look it up. As long as I did all the stuff that really mattered. There we go, we got the Sapphire, we gave it to Celio. You have no idea how much I went through to get this. Team Rocket, Scientist, Dotted Hole. It was awful, but now that we have both of the gems in the machine, we can trade with Ruby and Sapphire games. So we can get Hoenn Pokemon in this game, and we can send Kanto Pokemon over there, and Johto as well, if we caught some from these islands. But that's really all that huge side quest is for. And since I'm using an emulator, I can't use that. But in the next part, we will take on the more powerful